Hey guys, Michael here from michaelsherlock.com. I want to talk to you today about Sprint's CTIA 2011 press release. They really hammered home on two HTC devices, and just to go off on a little tangent, I really love HTC. They have quietly brilliant products as they market it, but honestly, they're very good hardware manufacturers in their own right. So just two thumbs up for really taking HTC and really trying to take that and use that as your de facto hardware partner for releases. But I digress. So let's get into the first device, which we'll start with the tablet that they announced, and then we'll talk about the smartphone second. So they announced the Evo View 4G. This is a 7-inch 1024 by 600 touchscreen tablet. It's 7.7 inches by 4.4 inches by half an inch, and it weighs in at about 14.88 ounces. It supports a 1.5 gigahertz single-core processor with 1 gigabyte of system RAM. 5 megapixel rear camera that can record in up to 720p video, as well as a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera for, you guessed it, video chat. Now, this is the 4G because it has EVDO, Rev-A, as well as a WiMAX radio, so it'll support both frequencies from Sprint. It also has 32 gigabytes of internal storage. Now, powering this bad boy is a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. No word yet on exactly how long that's going to last, but really with the iPad and iPad 2 lasting about 10 hours, that's what manufacturers are aiming for. Another cool feature with the View 4G is the HTC Scribe. This is essentially a stylus, a special stylus rather, that allows you to take notes, sign documents, draw pictures, etc. on the tablet itself. In the past, we had that on really old tablets, and then once we switched over to capacitive screens, really with iPhone OS or iOS now, really went away from tablets and made everything finger-friendly. But there were a lot of things that styluses were good for, particularly taking notes, because you can always take better notes with a little stylus than you can with your finger, and there's just no two ways about it. So with HTC Scribe, which is compatible with this, and I believe an extra charge, I don't know if it'll be shipping in the box, but I'll check on that for you, will be supported by the View 4G. Essentially, this is the HTC Flyer that we saw back at Mobile World Congress about a month ago that I reported on. Basically, the only difference, again, is that it's coming for Sprint. We have more of a preliminary release date for this summer, and again, it has that 4G WiMAX radio. But the thing that pisses me off so much is the fact that this is running Gingerbread 2.3. Hell no! Okay, this is a huge flaw. Granted, it is running HTC Sense on top of Gingerbread, but I think we've all seen the Galaxy Tab. It ran 2.1 and 2.2. That operating system, that tablet Android, or rather that smartphone operating system, does not translate well to tablets. Honeycomb is where it is at. Now, granted, they say Honeycomb is coming soon. It'll be there for you as soon as we can get it. But the Zoom has Honeycomb. The other devices have Honeycomb, and they're releasing now, so there's no excuse for this. I'm really upset about this. How can you release a tablet running Android in 2011, and this isn't even early 2011 like the Zoom perhaps? No, this is summer, this is mid-2011. And the fact that it's not running 3.0, a tablet-optimized version of Android, simply pisses me off. In that regard, just looking at these specs now, I can't recommend the Evo View 4G. It doesn't matter, performance, and we've seen some shoddy performance, perhaps that'll be improved as we optimize the software, but it's not running a tablet operating system. It's running a smartphone operating system that's stretched for a 7-inch screen, that has HTC Sense overlaid on top to try to band-aid the problem. But this is a colossal flaw. I mean, the hardware may be good cosmetically, and you may be able to get stuff done with Gingerbread, but this is unacceptable. Honeycomb is where you need to be in 2011 if you're going to be using Android for a tablet, and there's just no two ways about it, so that was just not good. Now, the other thing that they released, or rather announced, was the Evo 3D. This is the follow-up to the Evo 4G that released last year. So this is, again, a 4.3-inch display, but the resolution is QHD, so that's 960 by 540. But what's cool about this is audio stereoscopic, which means it's a 3D display that does not require glasses, sort of similar to the Nintendo 3DS in that regard. So basically, the reason why this is called the Evo 3D is because it has a 3D display. But not only that, it can capture 3D as well. There's dual 3 megapixel rear cameras on the back to capture 720p 3D video, as well as 1080p 2D video. And there's actually a third camera on the front, the much less noted 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera for, you guessed it, video chat. So this is actually a really cool thing. Not only will you be able to see 3D content, you'll be able to capture it as well, and there's also an HDMI port, so you'll be able to send that out to your TV. Again, either that 3D content that you captured or that 2D content that you captured as well. So let's get back into the specs. 1.2 gigahertz Snapdragon dual-core CPU. I really think dual-core is the way to go. We saw that with laptops and computers several years ago, and now we're starting to see that shift in terms of tablets and smartphones. I really like dual-core, especially because I know that Snapdragon processor that they're putting in there is really a nice workhorse. 1 gigabyte of RAM, just like the tablet that we talked about earlier. And this is running Android 2.3 Gingerbread with HTC Sense. The same software that's being run on a tablet, like I just ranted about. On a smartphone that's 4.3 inches, that's perfectly fine. I have no gripes with that. I really like Gingerbread, and I'm happy it's not even Froyo, that is Gingerbread, because there are enhancements in that, but it's not supposed to be a tablet, so Gingerbread is fine. It also, again, has 3G and 4G radios, just like the Evo 4G of the past. 4 gigabytes of memory internal, as well as micro SD card expansion to bring you up to, I believe, 40 gigabytes total storage is what I'm hearing for this device. And it also will be powered by a 1730 milliamp hour battery, which is above the average. We'll see, you know, what power consumption is when you're using that 3D display. And one interesting thing, there's a switch on the device that will switch between 3D and 2D mode, but actually, some people have been reporting this incorrectly. That switch is actually for capture. There's a software thing that will automatically determine whether the display should display 3D content or 2D content. So I assume that's based on the application and if it supports 3D or not. So the switch is actually not for the display. The display will automatically do that. I just reiterated myself, and I'm sure there probably will be a setting if you buy it and you realize, oh, 3D gives me headaches, or I don't really like 3D, or it's too stressing on my battery and I need to conserve battery life. And I'm pretty confident that there'll be a manual setting to lock that down to 2D video or 2D display, but we don't really know 100% at this point. Now, there's going to be a few apps that launch, Blockbuster and YouTube. These applications will be at launch, and they're both the 3D version, so you'll be able to watch 3D YouTube content on there and take full advantage of the whole scheme of this, as well as Blockbuster 3D content. And I believe there's a golf game that they demoed as well that'll be on the device at launch, which is pretty cool. Now, let me just say, the whole reason why you'd buy this device, don't get me wrong, it has solid specs. 1.2 gigahertz dual-core CPU, 1 gigabyte of RAM, QHD, 4.3-inch display. Those are all quite good. I'm not trying to trivialize it in any way. But the whole point of this is 3D. I still am not sold on 3D. As you know, I wear glasses or contacts now, but in the past I always hated 3D stuff because you had to wear those stupid, silly glasses. And I said that I'm not exactly sold on 3D. This is what I said in the past. I'm not exactly sold on 3D, but there's no chance it can take off until it is glasses-free. So now this glasses-free technology is coming out. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how well 3D works, if it gives headaches, and the battery performance that you'll get on a device that's, has 3D. So hopefully I'll be able to get the Evo 3D in hand sometime this year to give you guys a little rundown of it. Honestly, I'm pretty excited to see the Evo 3D in action, but as I ranted before, this tablet is really, I think they just pissed in the wind in some regards, because it's just not what it needs to be. I'm quite disappointed with the Evo View 4G, because there are so many other tablets. Honestly, what is so different between this and the Galaxy Tab 7, the 7-inch one that I reviewed last year? They both have 4G, they both are running 2.2 Froyo versus 2.3, so there are some enhancements here. It is a faster processor, but it's essentially the same thing. And that's not what we want in 2011. The iPad 2 is an immensely popular product, completely sold out everywhere in essence. And there's no way that, this is really going to compete with it, even though they can market it as a 4G product, which they can't do with the iPad 2. So those are just my opinions on that. Sprint CTIA 2011. What are your opinions? Do you agree with me about this tablet, or do you think, Michael Sherlock, stop ranting? This is a solid tablet and a lot of people will buy it. I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day. But before I go, I just want to give you a little disclaimer about these clothes. People sometimes bash me for dressing up and looking nice. I don't dress up for videos. Sorry, I know you thought I had a wardrobe. Unfortunately, I don't have a special wardrobe for videos. But I had some meetings today that I had to attend to. And as soon as I was done with that, I wanted to get some content up for you. So I thought I would look pretty cool, pretty snazzy for you, wearing the little tie, although it's unbuttoned because I'm going a little casual with the video, and the little sweater vest thing, and the blue shirt. So just in case you were curious about that, because I know you always love to leave flaming comments for me, but I digress. Sometimes I go off on little tangents, whatever. So seriously though, take care, thanks for watching, and peace.